Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Invincible podcast with myself, Marty, as your host today. Before I introduce my exquisite guest, please subscribe if you haven't already. Please like and please drop a comment in the comments. So, if you need a judge, forget Judge Judy, forget Judge Rinder, forget Judge Dredd. This guy is the judge, the juror, the executioner, the best judge on social media, the one, the only, the Jet 2, Mr. Lee Judges.
Hey! How we doing, my bro?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. All good. You?
Well, yeah, no, I'm still peeved at the weekend, like, you know. Still ain't got quite over that, like, you know.
Mate, I'll feel you on that. Do you know what? And I'll go straight into that. After a defeat like that, for the last few days, I felt really deflated.
Yeah.
Do you know? It was the manner in which we lost it. Like, and I'll go straight to it. The setup with Mourinho up top, I get that. Listen, he's a great player, and he does a job. And we controlled and dominated that game in the first half. But just the main thing, and again, this is no disrespect to Gabriel Martinelli, I just look at that and think, if we had started that game with Eze on the pitch, I think that game is completely different. And I'll tell you why, is there's about 3 chances where Martinelli gets the ball, he runs straight down the channel, and he runs to a dead end. He had two opportunities to release Gyökeres, and he didn't. And Gyökeres was like, there was one in particular, and Gyökeres is sort of half calling for the ball. And bear in mind, he's new to this team, so obviously he's got to find a way. But he's ready for the service for the ball. He's ready for the ball to come in. And then Martinelli holds on to it, and then Gyökeres finds himself in another position. And I just believe that Eze puts out that ball straight into him, and then he has a chance on goal. And that for me was the disappointment of, you know, we all know that Eberechi Eze is Premier League ready. He's not like we've got him from another team. You've got to settle him in. I get, you know, listen, no disrespect to Arteta. Arteta turned around and said he's only been at the club for 5 days or something at the time. But that's why you spend that money on a player, and that's why, you know, he started playing in the Premier League for Palace against Chelsea, and he's ready to go. And when he came on for the last 20 minutes, he looked lively, and the way he glided past Szoboszlai with ease, consummate ease, you know, and that was the disappointing thing for me. I believe if he starts the game, that is a different result, and we're walking away from that game feeling completely different.
Well, I see, like, yeah, I get that, and for me, it all started with the team selection.
Yep.
I was down when I see that, and you know, the doubts of Arteta have been forced upon me now, a little bit, like, you know, by people telling me. I've had people messaging and all that, like, you know, he's not this and he's not that, like, you know. And listen, from my point of view, and why I'm so disappointed is that I watched the game Monday night between Liverpool and Newcastle. You know, Joe makes a very good point, our cameraman. Like, he don't make many, but he made a good point. That he turns around and said that it was at Newcastle, right? So I get that. Mm-hmm. I get that we're at Anfield. It was at Newcastle. But what I see was a blunt Newcastle attack destroy Liverpool in the first half.
Yep.
Absolutely destroy them. I know that Liverpool scored, but there was only one team in it. And if they'd have had better strikers, better attacking players on the pitch that day, they would have won by 3 or 4 or been up 3 or 4.
Yep.
Then I watch them in the second half go down to 10 men for 45 minutes and still take it to them and nearly win the game.
Yeah.
And then I watch us 2 days, 3 days, 4 days later go so defensive after watching what I'd seen. I don't know why Arteta was. I felt that they were vulnerable. I thought that they were there, and I felt that if we'd have attacked them, I think we could have got something from that game. And when I walk away from Anfield, coming back on I don't know whether we give it a go or we didn't.
Yeah.
And look, listen, someone put this saying out to me, sent me this message, and I'll tell you what, it's so true. It says if you are afraid to lose, you don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
It's such a real, you know, like, and it's like from mindset, like, you know, get your mind. I think the way we set up, you know what I mean, it looked like Liverpool would have got confidence from that. And how I say that is because they were going, well, they're a little bit afraid of us.
Yep.
That's what I take from it, like, you know. Now, people, you know, like the cult Arteta fans and everything like that, and, you know, there is a cult for Arteta, like, let's be honest, there is, which isn't a bad thing, you know what I mean, like, you know, he deserves a lot of credit, and I'm in that boat. I'm not a cult, but I'm in that boat of like
a cult for Arteta.
I'm not in that.
No. Do you know what? I hear this. I don't. Do you know what? I don't see it. I've been accused of that personally, being like, oh, it's Arteta cult and it's Artetaism, you know, and what have you. For me, I just want the best for the football club. I don't really care. Do I care who the manager is? Yes, I do. At the moment, and sorry to interrupt you, Lee,
no.
but what I do see is, and this is a point I was going to come on to later, but I might as well come on to it now, is I do remember people say, oh, it should happen now. Life isn't always about instant gratification. And that's just it. You were there, and I bet when Emery was in charge, before Arteta took over, I remember being in them 20,000 seats, you know, 20,000 people at the stadium, and I just see what he's come in and done. And then we'll come on to this, but the transfer window, you see all these pieces that I see are just coming together now. It's like, we're nearly there. And this is finite margins, this whole Premier League, Champions League, as we found out last season in the Champions League. And I just see all the pieces of the puzzle coming together, and albeit Sunday was disappointing, really disappointing, because we've got the players to do the job.
We have, and listen, I'm with you on this, like, you know what I mean. I'm not one of the cult ones, like, you know what I mean, that he can't do nothing wrong. But I'm with you. I see where we are, and we are close. You know what I mean, like, and how I say it is, and I mean, like, the Arsenal fans are saying, well, why is Arsenal getting slagged off and not Liverpool? Like, Liverpool at home and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I get that. But the reason we're talking like this is because Liverpool are the title winners. They've won it. Yeah. It's like, we're not. We've got to, what is going to get us over the line? What we're going to do? Being negative, not negative. 2 years ago, we went to the Etihad, and played out a 0-0 draw against a much far superior team than what I see the other day. And we got a draw 0-0, and it wasn't enough in the end to get us over the line, right? So 2 years on, with a much better team and squad, and up against an opponent that is not as strong as the one that was 2 years ago. We continue to do the same. We've done the same thing. Now, it's like a boxer. Like, it was someone said to me this the other day, if you're the challenger, you've got to do a little bit more to become the champion. I.e., if you box and it's a draw, who's still the champion? Right? So you've got to do that little bit extra. And I felt it was up to us to just try, you know, to do that little bit extra. Now, we could have gone there, give it all and lost 2-1. Right? Or we could have gone there and won that game, right? And what I'm saying is that I'd rather go there and give it a go and come away and go, do you know what, we give it a go? I don't know. But what worries me about Arteta, and what I'm now, I wouldn't say that how can I say this? I feel now like if you was to put a lot of money, do I think Arteta is the man to get us over the line? I'm not sure. I hope that he is, but deep down I'm probably thinking I'm on the other side now. Like, but where I'm saying there is a point in that game. Right. I don't know when it was, but there was a point in that game when Arsenal could have gone and won that game. If or they could have drawn it, or they could have lost it. There was a point in that game, but at that moment in time when we could have gone for it, his mentality was, I take the point here. I don't want to lose the game. I feel that if you're going to be the man to get you over the line, when it comes to that point, can we win this or can we lose it? Let's go and try and win it.
100%. And do you know what? On that point, and I think for me, that point was at half time, okay? Because, look, I understand playing Martinelli, because Martinelli, historically against Liverpool, has been an absolute animal. And he's scored goals, he's set up goals, and it's the game he's actually played out of his skin and done really well. In this occasion, he didn't. Now, the question marks, and I'm no football, like I'm not qualified like Mikel Arteta is to manage Arsenal Football Club, but I think at half time the decision you make, which is clear for everyone to see, is you hook Martinelli and you stick Eze on. If you're not going to start Eze, you at least at half time go, listen, Martinelli, this ain't your game today, mate. Like, you're coming off. Eze, go on the pitch and do what you have got to do. And you give him that second half. And I believe it's then, because Liverpool came out in the second half and they'd worked out how we were going to play. I didn't say bring Odegaard on at that point, because the Merino situation was working well, and it was when he changed Eze and Odegaard for Merino and Gabriel Martinelli, it changed the dynamic, and that's where Zubimendi was left open in midfield a bit more, and that's why he makes that, I think, rash challenge. I love Zubimendi. I think he's going to be a fantastic player for Arsenal, but I don't think that challenge needed to be made where it was made, because like people say, oh, it's a dangerous situation, it's 30 yards out. Well, not being funny, we've seen when you're talking about top quality players, and anyone who's seen Szoboszlai take free kicks before, obviously Trent or in around that Liverpool team, will know that he's a dangerous guy. Also, and I'm going to say this, but this new ball, which funny enough we've got right here, that ball, these balls do move. Go on, and if you can see that free kick, I'm not making excuses, or say that free kick was a fantastic free kick, and was it a dangerous? Listen, we see free kicks going from in the Premier League from those areas all the time. Declan Rice stuck 2 past Thibaut Courtois with ease in basically the same position. The second one was just a bit higher and a bit more top bin, as it were. Like, this happens at this level, and giving away fouls in that. Listen, I'm not blaming Zubimendi, but going back to the when you take Merino off, you play Merino because he gives you stability up top, because he's a versatile player and he's got a good engine on him. I just don't understand why Eze wasn't played earlier and Martinelli wasn't hooked, and I think that when I look at that game, that's the issue that I look at.
I go one further than that and say, like, you could have kept Martinelli on, right, because he was defensively doing a job, getting back and all that. But my thing is, like, why didn't you take Merino off and put Eze in there, or Odegaard? Now, he did bring on Odegaard, but if you go back to the game, and I've watched the game now, have a look what Odegaard does in that game. All he does is play safe passes, gets the ball and plays safe. So basically, all he done was, when he come on, was done exactly the same as what Merino done, without the physicality of it all.
Yes, thank you. Right,
that's all he done. He didn't like, but there was 3 or 4 times he couldn't put passes in. Oh no, keep possession. Now, if you've got top class forwards, right, you have to supply them. We're going to go along with that, right? But with those passes comes a risk that you might lose the ball. Right. If you're going to play the killer pass, right, and there is a time in football, don't play the killer pass. You know what I mean? You play it safe, right? You know what I mean? And this is where it comes into stats, where it goes, oh look, he's got 90% ratio of completed passes. But those killer passes, not always going to work. So what will happen is the ball's going to be turned over. Okay, right? You've got to say to yourself, Mikel, or whatever, I've got the best defence in the league.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm prepared to take that risk with those killer passes, right? Because we'll win it back in certain areas. And I think, like, when I watched that, if you watch that, Odegaard in that performance sums up our manager. Because what he done was he come on and he was like, he's was told, right, shut down, work hard, when you get the ball, keep it. Not like get in there, work hard, get the ball, and look for those quick little passes. He never done it. And
Lee, I think you make a fantastic point with the defence. And it was like, play with the handbrake off, just release it, just go, because this is how good our defence is. And I'm gonna, this is where I go into the recruitment and how impressed Mosquera. Comes onto a game like that, right, at Anfield, arguably probably our biggest away day that we're going to get all season, apart from obviously Old Trafford, which we've had, and probably the Etihad, and with St James's Park, but we don't know what proposition they're going to be this year without Isak, obviously. But Mosquera to come in, and it was like we didn't even miss William Saliba.
That is that is the greatest point of all, because I tell you what, right, 2 years ago, right, we played the most expensive football that I've seen. and we ended up not winning the league because Saliba got injured, and we didn't win the league, right? So we didn't have the proper replacements.
Yep.
He has now, by seeing that performance there, we didn't miss Saliba one bit.
Mate, and that's a huge statement.
It's a huge compliment. So what I'm saying is, you play a little bit more expect. Go back to where he was 2 years ago. Believe in the players, and at the end of the day, believe in your squad, because now we're not replacing Saliba with Holding, and there's a massive gap. You know what I mean? Like, Mascaro come in and was absolutely outstanding.
Phenomenal.
Right? You know, you look at the midfield. If one of them knocks out, Marino's a Spanish international that can come in there and do the job. We have got a massive, massive squad. And we were so close to winning the title against a much better team. You know what I mean? Like, over the last couple of seasons. Go with it.
Yeah,
we've got defensively, we're very, very strong. We've got two very, very good goalkeepers. Like, you know what I mean? Look at when you look at that game against Anfield, you could turn around and go, right, our best player wasn't playing in Saka. Yeah. Right. Okay. Maduiku's probably the best out of the front three.
Do you know what? And I'm going to touch on that. Listen, there was a bit, it would be fair to say there was quite a few meltdowns when Madueke come to Arsenal, and there were a lot of Arsenal fans that were actually legitimately very unhappy with the sign. They were like, we've wasted 50 million quid, and at that time we hadn't signed Eze. And listen, let's go back to that, and that's a real thing. And, you know, why have we got him? And we were just saying, you know, I remember saying, listen, the lad, he's come. And it wasn't a signing that before he came, went, oh, let's go and sign Noni Madueke from Chelsea. I didn't say that. It was not even on my radar whatsoever, that sign. But that lad has come in, and I tell you what, on Sunday, he looked dangerous. And that, I could see what sort of a player we're getting. We're getting a player that is not afraid to take on their fullback. And he had Kirkes on toast, like, literally. And Liverpool just bought him from Bournemouth. Like, he's legitimately a top left back. Like, you don't end up being bought by Liverpool for that sort of fee because you're useless. He's a good left back, right? And part of an integral part of that Bournemouth defensive unit last season. Now, Madueke was direct, running him. He was one of our most dangerous players.
He was, but he was one of the most dangerous players, picking up the ball 20 yards into our. Like, what you want him to do is a little bit more, like, he was having to make 60, 70 yard runs. You know what I mean? What you want is our team pushed up a little bit more and him being a little bit more in that. But listen, the timing of his signing would be debate. I think, and I still look at Arsenal now, and when we're going to transfer window in a moment, like, you know what I mean, why it's not as good as what it should have been. And my only reason for that is that Gyökeres wasn't bought 2 or 3 weeks before, because he's still not quite up to scratch, like, you know. But Madueke's come in, and I think, like, on the back of every of the signs of Eze and Gyökeres, if they would have come in first and he comes in then, there wouldn't have been this bad feelings around the signing. And also, now when you look at it, like, there's a lot of pressure off of him now because of 100%. That. Like, there's more pressure on Zubimendi, Gyökeres and Eze to perform than him. So from his point, it's a great that we've got all these players in, like, but he done well. So at the end of it, I look at it and go, like, you've now got a very, very strong squad. No Ben White in this game, no Kai Havertz in this squad, no Norgard, you know what I mean, that's not bad. Don't know what's happened to him. No one's really sort of saying what's happened.
He come to Arsenal and got injured straight away.
You know what I mean, like, you know, this is what I'm saying.
Oh,
the other thing that that has annoyed me, and I don't care what anybody says, you know, that William Saliba, if he was injured, why are you playing him?
I know.
We are a professional football club, massive club. We've got massive players on the bench and all that, like, and the medical scar. And what amazes me about this, right, is that William Saliba is now doubtful for Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah.
Doubtful for Man City. Doubtful for the Champions League game.
Is that what I've heard that he's going to be all right?
Well, at the moment, like, that's what I've heard. Like, you know what I mean? He's probably only going to be about 2 weeks. He's going to be out. The fact that he is out of those games, why are you playing him in that game? Why, you know what I mean? Like, surely you can go, like, oh well, if it's a risk, you know what I mean, like, well, it's only not. He ain't available for France now because of this, like, you know what I mean, like, I just the medical staff need to be criticised, and people go, oh, it's down, like now when I'm going to go on to the Mikel haters, it's Mikel's fault. No. Medical staff have to say, you know, if a medical man, a doctor turns around and says, he's not fit to play, Mikel will not play him.
Yeah.
So there has been somebody on that medical staff has looked at his ankle and gone, yeah, you can get through this game. But after 1 minute, he can't. That is scandalous.
But then also, Lee, I get that. But then also, you listen, you're a football man. You've played football at all sorts of levels. And I have as well. And I've also had situations where I've been asked before games, are you okay? And they've said, look, this is dodgy. Are you okay to play? Now, a player of that elite calibre, Saliba, I would imagine say, yeah, listen, I'm going to give it, I'm all right. I'm going to give it a go. And then obviously he's give it a go and he's broken down. And so I understand your argument completely, but then also there is that other part where, the medical staff will probably say, look, are you all right? Are you all right to continue? And he'll go, yeah, listen, I'm all right, I'm fine. And obviously, as the warm-up would have gone on, and then obviously the game started, and then unfortunately, it's worked out like that. So I get your...
Listen, I get what you're saying, Marty, but like, this is a club that's constantly riddled.
Yeah, with injuries.
With injuries.
And now we've got a load of injuries as well within the first few games.
You've got a defender on there that you've bought who is well and truly capable of replacing him. I get he's no Saliba at this moment in time. But at the end of the day, when you've got players out... Yeah, he was. He's outstanding.
Yeah.
You've got players there that are continuing to get... Like, for instance, I look at Saka, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Injured again.
Yeah.
So is that conversation been there to back in the day? Can you carry on playing? Yeah. And look at him now.
I know.
So I'm looking at it and going, no, look, there's more important of the welfare of players, like, you know what I mean? And one of the reasons we can continue getting these injuries is because you've got medical staff that are incompetent to know if an ankle injury can last 1 minute or not. Now, if it had gone on and lasted 60 minutes in that game, right, I would turn around and say that's justification.
Yeah.
But you can't last 1 minute.
Yeah.
So you, after 1 minute, you know. So that's not good enough.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I remember once I was playing the cup final and I had a hamstring injury, and I done the it was the last game of the season, so I'd done the
warm up.
The warm up. I'd done all like the test and everything like that. And the manager come up to me and I said, well, I ain't gonna last. You know what I mean? It's gonna. So he turned around and said, look, if we get 60 minutes out of you, the season's finished anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Blah blah blah. So I lasted about 60 minutes, like, you know what I mean. So
then was you up for 8 months?
Oh, no, it was sort, like, do you know what I mean? Like, but I got through. I didn't pull it or nothing like that. But I weren't 100% fit anyway. Like, we ended up winning the final on penalties, like, you know what I mean. But like, I went off at 0-0. It finished 0-0, like, you know what I mean. But there was a risk in it. But I lasted 60 minutes, you know what I mean. Like, I didn't last 1 minute.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And that's what I'm saying, like, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, like, I look at that. I actually thought that he got a kick. I didn't know, because we come into the stadium, that, I get there about 20 minutes before, you know what I mean, like, so I don't really see the warm up and that, like. I thought we got a kick in the first couple of minutes. I said, he's got a kick there. Look, and that's what it was. And it weren't until I got on the way back home. It was in the warm up. And I'm sorry, Martin, that ain't good enough for me. That ain't good enough. No, look,
I get it. And the worrying thing for me is, obviously, we're this amount of games in, and the injuries that we've got. I understand injuries happen at elite level of football. I completely get that, and that's why we've got squad depth. But the concerning thing is look, the Odegaard injury, I get at least that was a play
contact one.
Yes, contact as a shoulder. I get right, exactly. But the other injuries, I'm like, why are these injuries reoccurring? Like the Havertz now. Listen, I get sometimes you have a big injury. Obviously, other parts of your body, you put stress on that because when you're not playing, that's where the match fitness comes. You're trying to get one bit fit, and trying to keep the match fitness keeps your whole body fit, and then sometimes a big injury can lead to other smaller injuries. I do get that, but it's worrying it is worrying the amount of injuries that we've got.
Exactly right. So, I'll go back to my point.
Yeah.
Right? So, when Havertz is coming back at the end of last season, you all right to play now, Kai? Yeah, I am, like, but he's obviously not.
Yeah.
And so, again, like, is he being rushed back? Is he being forced back? He's out with a knee injury, like.
Yeah.
Nothing to do
surgery.
Nothing to do with a contact injury, which can happen, like, Let's go back into it. Ben White, what's he out for? Hamstring injury at this moment in time.
Yeah.
What's Saka out for? Hamstring injury.
Yeah.
What's Norgard out? Don't really tell you, a little niggle.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's a hamstring injury or a muscle injury.
Yeah.
Like, so there's another one. So how many more?
Yeah.
So out of all of the injuries that we've got at this moment in time, you know what I mean? Like, all right, we put Saliba on the knock contact thing, like, you know what I mean, like, at the end of the day, but you know, he might have picked that up in training or
well, I mean, that was you could have.
That's another thing. How can you twist your ankle in a warm up? I don't know. Was he trod on the ball? I don't know. You know, can someone explain to me what that happened? Because I'd like to know how he got this injury.
Yeah.
How he got it. But anyway, so that could have happened before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fell down the stairs going to breakfast. I don't know. You know, no one says, like, you know what I mean? But all these injuries are muscle-bound injuries.
Yeah.
So there's something not right. And if you're asking players, are you fit to play?
Yeah.
And they're saying yes, you know. I look back at last season, Kai Havertz rushed back. Saka rushed back.
Yeah, Saka's definitely rushed back. Now he's got recurrence
of an injury. That's because we didn't have a strong enough. We have a strong enough squad now to say, do you know what? You are not quite right. I don't want to see Saka back until the next international break. After the next international. I don't like if they say it's 3 weeks, right? You have an extra couple of weeks.
Yeah. No, I'll make you right on that. And do you know what? It's proven that we've got cover now. And
don't want them rushed back.
What I did learn about that Liverpool game, which was good to see, is, you know, like Mascara filling in for Saliba. If he's not 100% from Forest, play Mascara. You know, because we know that Mascara can do it. If he's not 100%, if there's any doubt. And now, obviously, you know, and we'll come on to the transfers now, I think, because, you know, it's a good point. And let's go through this, you know. When I look at this transfer window, right, this is an unprecedented transfer window. I have never, ever, in my time of supporting Arsenal, seen a transfer window like this. We've brought in 8 players. And when you look at last season's transfer window, we brought in Ricardo Calafiori. Listen, who is he's a decent player, top player. You know, I love him. I think he's fantastic. You know, great addition to the team. And likewise, Mikel Merino. I say the same about him. You know, I don't say, oh, he's a squad player. I rate him, I really do. But then obviously you look at Raheem Sterling, who Chelsea are now trying to get his £350,000
stuck
a week wages, you know, off their bill. You know, that when you look at that transfer window, we bought in a centre half, left back, and a very versatile midfielder. And then we bought in Raheem Sterling, who scored 1 goal against Bolton. That transfer window compared to this, you know, and the way that, you know, and this goes then back to this, you know, trust the process, and I get that, but what I have seen with this process is, look, like Chelsea done, they went and ironed out £1 billion. You know, this team has cost £1 billion. Like, we've spent £1 billion on this whole, and apart from, I think, Saka and is it Martinelli, they're all Arteta's players, you know, that he's gone and bought. And obviously Saliba, who signed in 2019, which was another Emery signing, probably the best thing he did for the club. And that's another story. And when you know, it costs, obviously Chelsea could go and do it like that. Man City went and sort of did it like that. We've done it through, you know, a way of obviously selling seats, merchandise, high ticket prices, etc. Obviously there's been sponsorship. And it's taken a period of time to now get this team and this squad. And I think maybe what was so disappointing with the result on Sunday is I genuinely believed, and I still look at that game now. That was the best opportunity we have had since we won there in 2012. And obviously since 2003, 2004, to go there and get points. And when I look at the finite margins, it is literally, I think, playing Eze instead of Martinelli, or just a slight switch in the system. And that's the frustrating thing about it. 100%. That's the annoying thing. And we can't even blame it on, oh, well, look, Saliba went down in the first minutes, we gave a goal. The goal we gave away was a sloppy It was a sloppy foul in the middle of the park, and he puts it in the back of the net. It's a world-class free kick, and those are the margins you're dealing with at this elite level of competition.
And before people go mad about it and everything like that, that's the first time at Anfield I've felt like we weren't going to concede a goal. So, like,
which is nuts.
So, which is unbelievable, like, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, they're the champions. Listen, no one's saying it's easy to go and win at Anfield. It's not. Of course, it's not. It's going to be tough and all that. But when you've got the best defence in England and you boast about it and you back
in England
it up
or Europe, Lee?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, like, it's got to be up there, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It's for me. It's going to be tested in this Champions League. I think we've got a better chance of winning the Champions League because of our defence than the league. You know, because I think you need to have a lot more attacking to go in and win a league. I don't think that Mikel's got that, but I think defensively we're very, very sound. I wouldn't swap any of our defenders for anybody else. If you said to me, right, you know, you can have Van Dijk, I'm not swapping him for Gabriel or Saliba, and I don't think. Are you talking
about Van Dijk now, or Van Dijk 3 seasons ago?
3 or 4 seasons ago, he's the best. He's the best. He's still the best defender now, by the way.
Potentially, yeah.
But he's not. You know, like, our guys have got more years in than more mileage than him. A right back in Timber or White, I'm not swapping. The left, Calafiori, by the way, has been outstanding since he's come in. Miles Lewis-Skelly hasn't. You know, I mean, I think we really got to be looking at Miles now to be maybe now with this new fella coming in. Like, what's his name?
Hincapié,
like, you know, I mean, well done.
Piero Hincapié.
Yeah, Hincapié. I would now be looking to switch Miles into a midfield role, like, you know, try and give him where he should be. I think he's could be an outstanding player for us in that role, and give us a little bit more balance on the left hand side that we haven't had since Xhaka's been missing. So that's something that Mikel can look at. I think defensively, you know, Calafiori's been. I tell you what, Calafiori, by the way, was outstanding, like, you know, as well, like, you know. So he's proved a few people wrong. You know what I mean, like, over the. I think
last season it was just again injuries.
Yeah, if he can stay fit. And listen, he's got all the tools now to go on. Now, at the end of the day, that doesn't mean to say you're going to win the league. When you look at a team like Liverpool that spent £459 million in one transfer window, we've had an unprecedented transfer window. So have they.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and at the end of the day, who's had the better transfer window? Probably them.
Do you think?
Probably, just about. But I think at the end of the day, they've left themselves a little bit short at the back. If they was to get a couple of injuries at the back, you know, it's a gamble. We had that gamble with the attackers last season. So if Van Dijk was to go down and Konate was to go down,
which
could happen, their backups are not at the level of what they've got.
I was told that 40 million quid got the Mark Gay deal done, but they wanted to pay 35 million, and they stalled on that. And I believe that, and obviously Mark Gay, he scored that goal against Villa that night. Literally, it was the next morning he was supposed to be going, and the deal fell through. And as a Liverpool fan, listen, they've got Isak, and we all know what Isak's capable of and what he can do. But obviously at the back, they can be short. And listen, it's early days, but like what Madueke did to Kirkes, I can see them potentially. Listen, again, I respect them, and Isak always gets taken out of context, and I'm not disrespecting, and I know how dangerous they can be going forward. I really, really do, but I think they needed to that Mark Gay signing would have been pivotal for them.
I think that maybe that could have happened, and that could come and bite them. Look, listen, they've played a little bit of Russian roulette with that, like, you know what I mean, and you know, we tried to do that last season, and then as soon as the transfer window finished, Havertz got injured, like, you know what I mean. So we'll see. I think that we're in a very, very good position to really challenge for the title.
So let's quickly go through our ins and outs. I just want to go through the transfer window. Kepa, we bought him for £5 million from Chelsea. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good one, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's good backup. Very, very good deal. Very good deal. We had Neto last season, and we've you know, I mean, nothing against him. We've got a more than capable goalkeeper in Kepa. So
Zubimendi, £51 million. When you consider Caicedo as 110.
Yeah, listen, I think he's a fantastic player. I don't know if he's I think we was a little bit open at times on he's not a holding midfield player that sit.
A combative middle.
Yeah, he moves around a lot and all that. Like, you know what I mean. I would actually think that now Declan Rice should go back into that role.
Really?
Now. And Zubamendi, but I think Zubamendi does do it, but he doesn't. He's not like what we had with Thomas Partey that just sat in front of the back four. Like, you know what I mean. He does move around a little bit, but listen, what I've seen of him, one hell of a footballer.
He is, and he can thread those balls through the eye of a needle. We have seen, and I love that. And some of the balls, I remember that ball that got played into Madueke from Zubamendi. Raya played a similar one in actually as well. Played him in down the right hand side. And when you see, it was like in pre-season when he knocks that ball and it spins round and Gyökeres, heads it in. He's capable of those incisive splitting passes.
Yeah. I was impressed. Look, listen, he's only just come into the league as well. And you know what I mean? So he's going to get better. So I'm impressed by him.
Gyökeres, 63.5 million quid.
Well, I'm worried about it.
Why are you worried, Lee?
Because he's had 2 games away from Manchester United and Liverpool's not had a touch.
Yeah, I know, but do you think that's his fault?
No.
Yeah, so I mean that's
something they've got to sort out.
Okay, so then that leads me on to the next signing of Eberechi Eze for £67.5 million, right? I think that signing there, and this is what does it worry me with Arteta using him correctly. I think that signing there unlocks Gyökeres because we've seen.
Does it?
I believe, yeah, he does. Right, I believe he plays. I believe he plays those balls in. You need to, like you said, you need to feed him.
I'm with you on that, and I hope that it does. Like, but Odegaard's last 2 years, since it under this, the way Mikel plays now,
I know,
it has affected him.
Yeah,
right. It's affected Martinelli. If Arteta goes back to what he done 2 years ago and backs his back four, and puts someone in front of it, like whether it be just to protect it, so you got like 5, and lets these players off the leash. Yeah, Gyökeres will fire. Yeah, so will Eze, so will Odegaard. My worry is that the likes of Martinelli, you know what I mean. Why is Martinelli not playing like he was 2 years ago? Why is Odegaard not playing? Odegaard's form has been shocking.
Yeah, it's a good question.
So if you say to them, right, be allowed to do what you want to do, then that'd be fine. Because I think like Wanyeri comes into that, like even Max Dalman comes into it. Let those players play. Yep. And that's my worry at this moment in time. Eze is going to be a sensational player for us if he's allowed to be.
And you know what?
If he's being told to be covering Calafiori and covering whoever,
ain't gonna work.
I
think as well for me that's the one signing that unanimously every single Arsenal fan, it was like, and we didn't touch on this last week, so I'm going to go back to this obviously at the Leeds game when they unveiled it. You were in the stadium, okay? Just quickly run me through that, because I didn't ask you this last week, and afterwards we spoke about it and I said I wish I'd have asked you that, because remember being in the stadium, and obviously this doesn't win you championships, but explain the feeling of when Eberechi Eze walked out onto that pitch and how that whole spectacle went down.
Listen, I've never experienced it before.
Yeah.
As of all the times I've been, it was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant, and it was a massive buzz, and you could tell that he's an Arsenal. Listen, they were singing his song at Anfield when he was warming up, and he's laughing. You know what I mean? He wants to be there. It's everything there, so it's fantastic. And what you do is you understand how he feels, because he's what he's doing is living our dreams. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like as fans. So from that point of view, fantastic. But I look at him now, and I think he done fantastically well. But the one problem that I've got is that when he come on, it was 0-0. When he comes off, we've lost 1-0. So Mikel might be thinking, "Oh God,
I know."
The defender, no, that's my thing. The problem I've got, and what Mikel's got to solve in the next couple of games, and not so much the next 2 games because they're at home. But by Christ, he can't afford to drop any points in the next 2 games, and one of them's against Manchester City. You know what I mean? Otherwise, the title could be over. 6 points behind if we, we could actually knock City out of it, because there'd be 9 points off of Liverpool. What I'm saying is, Newcastle away, we've got to be a little bit more part. We've played Manchester United and Liverpool, and Gyökeres has hardly touched the ball.
I know. But I mean, look, we didn't play well against. This isn't me making excuses. We didn't play well against Man. I think every player on that pitch, apart from Raya, had a. And then when Timber, apart from those two, every player had a bad game. And then obviously, look, the Liverpool game. Again, it just goes down to that. The thing that I don't understand is I genuinely believe that Eberechi Eze walks into any team in the Premier League.
Well, he didn't walk into our team, did he?
I know he didn't, and that's the thing that frustrates me.
So why?
That's the thing that frustrates me, and that if like what you just said, if Arteta looks at him, well, it was 0-0, and then I brought him on, and then we went 1-0. If that if it's going to be looked at like that, then that is a worry. That's a concern because
trust.
Listen, the guy does the business. It's as simple as that. We've seen it in the Premier League. There's no reason, you can see what it meant to the Arsenal. I don't want to see that player on the bench at all. I want to see him playing apart from when it gets to a point of like, let's not redline him, let's not get him injured.
100%.
He's a dangerous player. We all know the quality he possesses, and that if he starts getting used incorrectly like that, then
Well, you can turn around and say that Martinelli's being used incorrectly, and so is Odegaard at this moment in time. Why is that?
Do I rate Eze higher than those two? Yeah, I do. That's my honest opinion. I think he's more of a game changer than those two.
Listen, for me, like 2 seasons ago, there was no one better in that position than Odegaard. He's absolutely fantastic.
I get that.
And we've not
getting the best out of these players.
We're not getting the best out of him because we've gone to this possession-based football, right, which didn't work last season. In fact, if you go back to the season before, we wasn't so much possession-based, right, and we were worse last season than what we was the season before. Why are you going to this? This possession-based football? It doesn't work, Mikel. It's not going to get you the title. You've got players in this team now, i.e. Gyökeres, i.e. Eze. If you play them the way he played 2 seasons ago, with a better Odegaard and whatever, this team will cook.
Yeah, they will absolutely decimate other teams.
They will decimate a lot of teams.
And that's what I see. But when I see
I don't want to see this possession-based football no more.
And I think the idea with that is obviously if we've got the football, they haven't got it, so then they can't score. I understand that logistic, but then there will be times when the other team has the ball and that you will be prone to conceding goals. So
we under this possession-based football, we didn't challenge for the title. We drew more games than what we should have done. Go back to where we was. You've got better players now backing up those players that you've got. Let's go and smash this title.
Yeah,
it's on you now. It's on the manager. And if he doesn't do that and plays this, possession-based football, and we don't win. I was
going to say something else there.
I was. But if we don't play this possession-based football,
keeping it PG.
If we play it and we don't win the league, it's on one person.
100%. Look, I genuinely believe that he's been given all the ammunition. He's got all the weapons in the arsenal, as it were, to go and win this title. That's it. I believe. Listen, the Cronkies have backed him. We've gone in, and also the transfer business is Andrea Berta. That guy, what a transfer he was.
We've gone and get everything.
We've gone and got the best sporting director in the world. We've brought him in, and the Cronkies have backed him with everyone with the money. Now Mikel has got to do the business on the pitch.
He is, and listen, I'm at a stage like, listen, there's no guarantees you're going to win the league, right?
Yeah.
But if you play this possession-based football, you're not. Yeah. Right? We might come up short again, and if we do, that's unforgiving.
Yeah.
But if he goes for it and we play it and we end up going like we was 2 seasons ago and just losing it by a point or whatever, you can turn around and go, we've given it. Liverpool were unbelievable at this moment in time. There's no divine right that you can go and win this league.
I know.
But I'd rather lose it knowing that we give it a bloody good go. Than what I'm seeing at the moment, you know what I mean? I've had enough of this now. I've had enough. But this possession-based football does not win you leagues.
You want to see us go and attack other teams?
Attack teams. See what you can do.
Stick them away. Destroy them.
Yeah, and get the best out. I want to see you getting the best out of Gyökeres. You want to get the best out of Eze. You want to get the best out of Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, Wanyeri. You get the best out of those players by attacking, and also have a bit of faith in your Gabriels and Salibas.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Timbers.
100%.
They can defend.
100%, 100%. So quickly, we're going to Norgard, 15 million quid. He's injured. Jury's out.
But
what we saw in pre-season.
But yeah, listen, he's a good squad player.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah. Great backup for Zubimendi. 45 million quid with loan with option to buy Piero Hincapié.
I don't know nothing about him, but listen, he's done well in Germany. And
Invincible.
What people say is he's more of a left back than a centre back. I don't know. Like, listen, it's a good signing for us. You know, we lost Kivior because of that. Like, you know, Kivior wanted to go. You know, we wanted to play regular football. I get that. World Cup and all that. Like, with the squad, you have to just
freshen it up.
And that's what we've done.
And Madueke, 48.5 million quid.
Jury's out on that, but like, I think it's a good backup.
And then we come to Mosquera for £13 million.
Sensational.
Well, do you know what the Valencia fans, and I saw quite a bit of back, they were absolutely livid.
How can you get him for that money?
The Valencia fans were livid that they were like that they'd sold Mosquera for 13 million quid. I mean, listen, the jury's still out, and obviously what we saw on Sunday, that could just be a one-off game. I get that, but if the player that we saw on Sunday is the player that we're getting, and from what I've seen of him and watched of him and understand of him, he is that player. And if we spent 25, 30 million quid on him, or 35, maybe 40 million quid, you probably wouldn't. If he's going to perform,
1 year left of his contract. You know what I mean? Like Liverpool trying to get Gay for 35. You know, for 11 million pound.
That's what I mean.
Sensational.
And then obviously we've got the outs with Zinchenko going to Nottingham Forest, which I think what I think is ironic about that is obviously he had a few deals lined up, but no one could afford his wages. And guess who's taking it? Guess who bought him to the club? And guess who's taking him to another club?
Good how we do.
Thank you, mate.
And listen, Zinchenko, I wish him all the best.
So do I, 100%.
He's done a good job for us. He took us to a certain place, right? This is what amazes me about Arsenal fans, right?
Yep.
He took us to a certain place, but he can't take us on. But the manager, that's that. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's all right. But with a player, it's ruthless.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You know what I mean? Like, Zinchenko took us to. Could he get us over the? No.
And take us to the promised land.
Because he can't. But I think he done fantastically well to get us there, and he should be appreciated for that.
Yeah, 100%. Reece Nelson, he's gone out the door.
Injuries have always been his downfall. I thought he's a talented player, lovely lad as well. Sad to see him go, but want him so desperately well to do well at Brentford.
100%, 100%.
Can't believe he ain't gone back to Fulham.
I know. They did want him, but the deal didn't end up happening in the end.
Yeah, so good move for him.
And then obviously we've got Vieira and Lokonga that both.
Lokonga, like, I never understand that signing. Like, you know what I mean? Just felt sorry for him being left out in limbo for many a time. Lokonga, I can't believe that he was left out in limbo. Like, just never. I don't understand the signing.
Do you know what? I think he had his chances.
Just wasn't up to it.
It just that's it. It just wasn't at those levels that we need. Maybe years ago, maybe a few years ago, there were some levels that.
I never see it. I thought he looked okay. You know, always going to be a squad player and all that. Vieira one, I don't think he's ever really been given that much of a chance.
Do you not think?
No,
really, Lee. I watched him play for Arsenal numerous times, and every time he come on the pitch, I remember numerous times him coming on late in the game, and like he was just down that left hand side with the ball, and he'd just go to put it in the box, and he'd hit it to the corner flag, and I'd be there thinking, even I could put the ball in the box, and I'm not. I am nowhere near that level, and I'm just thinking that basic delivery is not there. You know, chasing the game at the end of at the end of the game, and I was just
he come on and done some good stuff and all that, like scored on it against Brentford that day. I'll never forget that great goal. I feel there's a player there.
Yeah, there is a player there, definitely.
There's a player there, but whether it's going to be at Arsenal,
I don't think so, mate.
No.
So quickly, we'll just go on to the international break before we wrap it all up. What's your thoughts about the international break?
Well, we was talking about this earlier on. You don't like it.
I can't stand it, mate.
I actually enjoy it because I get a weekend off, like, you know what I mean. So okay. I don't mind it. The pressure. This weekend, I ain't got, you know what I mean, worry about Arsenal. I ain't got if Arsenal lose, they ain't going to mess up my weekend. I just can just go at Friday to Sunday. I can enjoy, and then like get back onto it next week when we go. But I enjoy the international break. Like it just
because
takes
you get a break.
I get a break.
See, I don't enjoy it because there is no football. It's like I've waited since May, the end of May, to get Premier League football, and then they give me 3 games.
Yeah,
and then I get into it, and I'm like, and then they just pull the rug from underneath my feet for a couple of weeks, and I'm left in the wilderness.
And then they'll do it again in next month. And
yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. Yeah, and that's the thing. And look, obviously when the World Cup's on and stuff like that, and obviously I love football, but it's like Champions League football. I love watching. I love the Champions League final. I think it's the best football. I think it's the best football you can get. You've got 2 top teams going toe to toe, and I love that. But the Premier League football for me is, I love it.
I get that, and like, if you want a fix of football, you've got England versus Andorra.
This is my thing. This is my thing.
Or Serbia versus England a few days later. Like, I'm not. It doesn't float my boat. Like,
no, it doesn't. Like, well, it certainly doesn't float my boat like your new kicks do. Would you like to show everyone? Look at what Mr. Lee Judges is rocking nowadays. The new Nikes in red and white.
In the red and white, like.
Look at them. Look at them.
Like, so
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, your kick game is absolutely.
Thank you very much. Go
on. Get them up, Lee. Go on. Let everyone see. Let everyone see. Look at these.
Look at them, like.
He always comes in with some seriously strong trainer game,
and they are like, so like, thanks to Nike for them, like, you know what I mean. So and they're comfortable as well, like really comfortable.
What would you rate them out of 10?
About the same as our window, 9 out of 10.
Ooh,
9 out of 10, like.
Nice. I think it's fair to say it's a 9 out of 10 window. 8, 9. We'll see. We'll see at the end of the season.
Me personally, like, I think it's a 9. Would it have been a 10? I think if we'd have signed Gyökeres earlier on in the window, I think it would have been right up there.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have made such a difference?
I think so.
Okay.
I honestly, looking at Gyökeres at the moment, I don't think he's fit.
Okay.
As sharp as he should be. He's having to work through it and all that. And also, the biggest thing for me is if he'd have been in the door from the beginning, we may have been able to work out how better, you know what I mean, like.
And we would have just gone and got the Eze deal done. We were going to do it. Might as well just got it done sooner.
Yeah, that would be like just those sort of things. You know what I mean? Like when you go on pre-season and you're working and all that. And we could have like gone to Anfield with a fitter, stronger, and also the players knowing how to play with Gyökeres. I think we're learning on the job again on that. So that would be the only downfall of the transfer window for me. Like, just that we didn't get him in as early as we should have done. But as transfer, like saying before, like, you know what I mean, like, and I think like we've had these conversations. How many players you think? Well, we need about 8 players, but we're never going to get 8 players. So we're happy with 5. We've actually got 8 players in.
That's three players away from a starting 11.
Yeah, and we've only really lost a couple that were in the. I know, like, a few of them have gone. Like, for instance, Nelson's gone, Vieira's gone, Lokonga's gone. They weren't even in the squad last season. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's a couple that have gone that we've like Tierney was one. I think, like, we've replaced that now. Like, Thomas Partey's gone. We've replaced that. So. Who else is? I think that's about it, really. Like, you know what I mean? So, Jorginho's gone. We've replaced him with Norgard. You know what I mean? So, and we've added a couple more on top of that.
Just a bit, yeah. Listen, we nearly got an 11, and they're all, for me, they're all top quality signings. But we'll see.
I'll say what'd be really interesting when we go to Port Vale, what that team will be like.
I mean, it's not going to be a weak team. Let's have it
right. I'm actually looking forward. I'm not looking forward to going to Port. We've got to go to Port Vale on a Wednesday night and Newcastle on the Sunday. But I'd be interested to see what that team will be.
Well, I think it'll probably be Kepa at the back with Mosquera, Hincapié, Lewis Skelly, whether it be Ben White or Timber. I don't think he'll play. If Ben White's fit, and then if Norgard's fit. And then you've got maybe Wanyeri, Marino, Madueke or Dauman. I'd imagine Dauman will play that. And then up top, well, you're probably going to have to play Gyökeres, or if you played Mourinho as the false 9.
Or Martinelli plays.
Yeah, or Martinelli plays there, and then on the left you've got obviously Trossard, you've got Martinelli. There's options. There's real squad depth. So it's going to be that.
Yeah, but I look forward to that.
That team, I'd be happy. I'm not being funny. I'd be happy with that team going
so
out.
Listen, we've got the squad.
Yeah. We have. But Lee, look, I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you.
No worries. Enjoyed that.
For having me.
No worries.
It was good fun. International.
Oh, by the way, Robbie again ain't here.
Oh, he's not, no.
No, he's not here. He's doing some talk in Algeria, like, you know what I mean? Like, talk, like, you know what I mean? That bloke, I'm telling you, like, you know, he absolutely, like, give it large on the way home, like, oh, well, this is how we do it, you know what I mean? This is how he should have done it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm arguing we should be more expensive and all that. Oh, I tune into the Bias show the next day and he's going, well, he should have been a little bit more expensive, like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, he's lost his mind game.
He's got no shame, I tell you about him, like, you know what I mean? No shame. You know what I mean? So I'm interested in one of these talks, you know, that he does, like, you know what I mean? He'd do one talk one day and it'd be a completely different talk the next
day. Ask him, he can sign you up, you could get down there with him.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So we had an argument, we weren't having an argument, we was like...
These are legendary, I was going to wrap it up, but these are legendary bus journeys home. I know I've been on the end of at least one of them, maybe a couple more that I don't know about.
It was heated on the way home. It was heated on the way home because I weren't having it. I felt that we should have been more gone for it a little bit more. Like, no, he weren't. He was on there, like, you know what I mean. And actually, at one point, do you know what he turned around and said? Because I was winning the argument. Yeah. Do you want to walk home? That is what he said to me. Like, do you want to walk home? Right, like, you know what I mean? So I had to shut up. Right, and then the next day he's going, well, we should have been a little bit more. Unbelievable, like.
Unbelievable,
you know what I mean?
Jeff.
Yeah, unbelievable, Jeff. And he's not here again, like, you know what I mean? So, well, part-time Robbie.
Hopefully you've had the pleasure of having
me. I've enjoyed it.
As always, it is a part of the week that I very much look forward to. As I hope you guys have enjoyed watching and listening to myself and Mr. Judges. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to AFTV. Please let us know what you thought of today's show in the comments. No doubt you will. And also, please check out all of AFTV's other content with the international break on. There is plenty of stuff coming out. And obviously there was plenty of stuff. We did Box Park on Sunday, so check out the vlog for that. Check out all of that content, the fan cams, etc. And hopefully Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest, the 12:30 kickoff, will be with us very, very soon. Couldn't come sooner. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been Marty. Lee's been Mr. Judges. Take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you soon.
The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.